This isn't new, actually, because bubbling under for quite some time now has been the fact that Abu Dhabi, and of course, Abu Dhabi is the driving force behind the oil industry in the whole of the UAE. The Abu Dhabi National Oil Company has been investing in new capacity. It's been taking a more active role in trading. And you could argue that Abu Dhabi, or the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company, has started to operate more and more like an IOC rather than an NOC. And they look to the future. They see demand for oil continuing to grow in the medium term. They've installed more capacity, and they want a greater share of that market as we move through the 2020s.
How tight is the market anyway? I mean, my sense is there is plenty of oil around at this stage. It just doesn't seem to be where it's needed.
Well, yeah. I mean, overall, obviously, we're looking at demand bouncing back in 2021 from the nadir of 2020. And the demand growth that we're seeing so far this year does seem to be pretty strong, even though there are the ongoing fears about the resurgence of the pandemic in Southeast Asia and in Brazil. But on the other side of the balance, there is plenty of oil around. Production has been reasonably strong, although controlled. But crucially, stocks of oil still remain relatively high, although they have been falling. So there's plenty of supply around. Demand continues to grow. So as the OPEC Plus ministers sit around the table, so to speak, today, trying to sort out their policies for the next few months, in some respects, they are really sitting in a very sweet spot, with the price in the low mid 70s, the demand expected to improve. So in some respects, you could argue, if you're an outside advisor, leave well alone for now. The market is probably in about as good a place as it can be for them, and put aside these discussions about quota allocations and baselines, and think about those over the next few months and make adjustments when the time is right.
Neil, it has been an incredible rally in the price of oil, 50-odd% from the start of the year, and some forecasts suggesting even 100. That said, as part of the discussion is around the extension of the time frame for the deal into late 2022, what sort of signal would it send to the market to have more clarity around the time frame?
Well, I mean, you've used the word. It would extend the period of clarity that we already have. When the deal was originally put together in April 2020, when the market was really in the pits, the OPEC Plus countries did tremendous service to everybody to put a floor under the market and give stability. And I think as we're moving towards the later stages of 2021 in terms of oil industry planning, to extend that horizon into 2022, I think would extend that clarity and provide the certainty that the market needs. And it would also acknowledge, I think, that although economies are coming back very strongly in the United States and to some extent in Europe, there remains uncertainty because of the pandemic, and to continue to support the market in the way they have been doing for a longer period of time would be a great service to market stability, and I hope they do that.
Neil, it feels as though there are competing themes at this stage. I mean, everybody's closely eyeing the spread of the Delta variant and what that's now doing around COVID waves in various countries and impacting the demand story. I mean, very much a short-term picture at this stage. But then, on the other hand, we're hearing an enormous conversation around energy transition, which must be provoking all sorts of conversations at these oil-producing nations about how to bolster revenues and prepare for the future from here.
Oh, absolutely. It's an existential question for them. I mean, what do they do every day? They get up and they produce and transport and supply oil. However, I think we need to put aside for one moment the enormous debate and discussion about the energy transition, which is, of course, very important, and realize that in the here and now, oil demand is going to continue to grow for most of the rest of this decade, and arguably beyond. Once you get to the end of the decade, it gets harder to assess. So somebody is going to have to produce that oil to meet that ongoing demand. And of course, the national oil companies, which form the OPEC Plus agreement, are very well placed to do that. We're seeing today a reluctance amongst investors to start US production growing again. So in some respects, for at least a decade, the national oil companies represented in the discussions we're talking about, are very well placed to capture that market share. And, you know, the United Arab Emirates, or specifically Abu Dhabi, which we started with, is one of the more aggressive countries within the OPEC Plus agreement in expanding its capacity and being well placed to support that demand for at least the next decade.